Now that we've discussed CloudWatch, let's look at the features and functionality. It's common for those new to AWS to see CloudWatch first from the EC2 console. When looking at an EC2 instance, there is a monitoring tab that displays metrics. The metrics displayed contain, amongst other details, CPU utilization and input and output for disk and network. You can open the view of a metric, for example, the CPU utilization, and you can see a graph displaying 5-minute average data points over the last hour. All of these 5-minute metrics are free. You can enable detailed monitoring, which allows you to see metrics on a 1-minute average. This is useful for troubleshooting and can be turned off once not needed, as it has a cost. You can use metrics such as status to help alert you of issues by raising an alarm. I'll show you alarms in a moment. Moving to the CloudWatch service, we see the dashboard. Let's start investigating by digging into the metrics. In my account, we are looking at metrics from deployed AWS resources and custom metrics I've added via an automated job. Let's look at EC2. You can view metrics by individual instance or by image ID, autoscaling group, or instance type. You can use these group metrics to manage a fleet of instances that provide a service. Let's view the per instance metrics for a single instance. I have filtered the CPU utilization metric and selected the production server instance. I can change the metric period to something that makes sense. Likewise, I can change the graph time range. My server is sending a custom metric that represents the average number of users connected to my WordPress site over a 30-second period. This helps me better see how many users are accessing the site in relation to the other metrics. Another custom metric I've added is memory statistics. You might notice that we can't see memory statistics when looking at the EC2 monitoring. This is because AWS by default doesn't have access to your instance. To see memory metrics in CloudWatch, we need to send those metrics from your instance using scripts you can get from AWS. You can see I have 3 memory statistics: available, used, and utilization. I can overlay my CPU utilization to better understand the relationship of those metrics. To see the CPU utilization, I move its y-axis to the right, so it pops out. Now you can see as the load increases, there is a corresponding decrease in the available memory. Now let's clear the graph and move to look at alarms. Alarms allow us to react when metrics fall outside the normal threshold. For example, when the CPU utilization of an instance is over 75% for more than 5 minutes, we can act on that event by sending a notification email or triggering an action. In this alarm, we send an email to all staff if the average number of users in a 1-hour period falls below the threshold of 100. So how did I set up the custom metrics? This is done by sending memory metrics from the instance into CloudWatch. I need to install software, and all the commands are directly from the AWS CloudWatch documentation. I will unzip the scripts I got from the AWS site earlier. I test that the scripts have permission to send metrics to CloudWatch. You will need to give the instance a role that allows metrics to be sent. Now I see it works, I will add a cron job to send memory and disk utilization metrics to CloudWatch every minute. Once I save that, the metrics will start to appear in CloudWatch. What about logs? You can install a logging service called AWS Logs. You can configure where the agent sends logs. In this case, we want the logs to go to US West 2. You can configure what the agent sends. In this case, I'm happy with the system messages log, and I will add the Apache access and error logs. When I restart the AWS Logs service, the logs will start appearing in CloudWatch. I can see logs from each instance. I can open and view the logs. I can filter the logs. I can create a metric from the filter. Very handy, as you can now create alarms from the metric and view the history. Lastly, you can create dashboards to present a single pane of glass for all the important parts of your application. From the EC2 instance metrics to the application performance metrics, such as requests successfully served and client and server errors. This wraps up our CloudWatch demo. Mā te wā. That means see you later in Maori.